And we are live.
All right.
Neo's trying to get us demonetized immediately with the NBA on the screen. Although I don't have any ads up on this anyway on my stream, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What's going on, guys? It's been I think it was 2020 when we met last. It's been a while.
Just all trying to survive now.
Yeah, it's the best time to do off center because I could just watch Cavs games during off center. So this is great. We're back, baby.
Well, we don't have Steve here to talk, so Ham's going to have to really complain a lot in this.
That's not a problem. Shouldn't be a problem.
Episode.
Ham, according to Fanatics, you're floating on a raft in the middle of the ocean because Florida's underwater.
Yeah, well, most of it is. That is true. It's very true.
Well, let's just start right there. So there's all sorts of did they cancel it because of the weather? Was that just an excuse? Because I lived in Florida for 25 years. So I know, I know you guys got hit really hard where you are, and that's abnormal in Florida. Usually it's like the storm blows through and everybody's good. Is it a lot worse where I assume it's a lot worse Tampa, Sarasota than it is in Orlando? Am I?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like again, two different storms did two different things to the state, to two different groups of people. That's really what happened. Helene was a storm surge, which is just nasty, and then rain for up north, where the flooding for the dams, and then Milton in Florida was a flood event. We were getting 8 to 12 inches per hour for hours, and that water just inland has nowhere to go. So coastal people at that point from rain are okay. Inland people are not okay because the water has nowhere to go.
Yeah, my dad is, well, you know this. My dad's in North Tampa, and he was basically, they stayed in. They were at their house. He's like, man, if it had hit like 20 miles north from where it did, like all of Tampa,
massive difference.
Like South Tampa would have been blown away if it was like 20 miles north.
Because we were on the north side of Milton. If anytime you're on the middle, the south side, you get rain, surge, plus hurricane winds. That's why when they say major hurricane, because at 3, it starts to become catastrophic. 4 and 5, because that was a 5 heading our direction. If that would have never slowed down, I probably wouldn't be talking to you right now. I mean, my house would be here, but it would be in pieces.
Well, and that's kind of the problem too. So my dad's brother, my uncle, had a beach house in Mexico Beach, right there in the Panhandle, Panama City Beach, Port St. Joe. And he had it for 25 years, never had an issue. They'd have storms come through and like blow away the boardwalk or whatever. But he had one that came through, Hurricane Michael, which ironically that's my dad's name. It came through and the structure stood tall, fine, but water went in through everything. So that's the problem. It's not necessarily the structure being knocked down. It's just that it's basically totaled. Once the water is in there and everything's wet, you can try to mitigate it, but I mean, it's just not the same. It's not
unless you have a concrete block house, everything comes out but the concrete block. You just literally start over.
Right.
Yep. And I have friends that did that. I had friends that lived in Clearwater Beach. They're a block off the beach in North Beach. They didn't evacuate for Helene because they say, a 7-10 foot surge. They're like, whatever. And then it happens. They got stuck in their house. Nobody could come and rescue them. So they had to sit in their house with 4 feet of water and couldn't go anywhere until the storm subsided and somebody could come get them.
Yeah, it's so wild because that is really abnormal. I mean, that's the sort of thing you hear about either like in the Panhandle or in South Florida in Marathon or in Miami Beach or something, but you just don't really hear that in Tampa,
it's so odd, correct. And I mean, they lost 90% of everything they own. I have multiple friends, anywhere from 50 to 70% of everything they own is gone. Cars, furniture, anything. You get if it's on the ground 4 feet up, it's gone.
Crazy. Let's say hello to some people. We've got Phoenix Rising in the house. Good evening. Jim in Florida. Just watched Neo's video on NBA cards. Why is it shocking that nobody wants overprinted cardboard, of which 99% will be in the dollar bin in 10 years? They've even ruined Wemby cards, millions printed. I talked about it in today's video, and I know that Neo has talked about it as well with grading. Like Wemby, I think, is number 14 or 15 ever for an athlete graded. I think he's 15, and he's literally had cards for like 12 to 18 months, and that's it. So yeah, it is kind of wild. The shocking part to me is that they still sell pretty well and for good prices. Like, I don't know. I would just think that it would be so watered down, that that there just wouldn't be as many kind of high end cards as there are for Wemby, but they still hold up. Like, I mean, there's
It's the only
still
thing to chase right now.
Well, what about like, in baseball, is there anything on the baseball side with, the World Series is kind of a great World Series for baseball fans, right? With Ohtani and Judge and
As long as your two MVPs and Soto do what they're supposed to do, I mean, it'll be exciting and it'll be a little bit more boomish in the market, even though everybody's, kind of up. But I think they're up in the right place, to be honest with you, especially for Ohtani and Judge. Soto just, it just matters if whoever has the breakout. I mean, the interesting part about this World Series, it's the two bigger teams. You have the two MVPs for the last few years now, and including the MVPs this year. And then neither one of them have a ring. So this is going to really help solidify somebody's career. This time doesn't mean they don't win one later, but right now yeah, correct. So at our current vantage point, there will be, I think, an overall winner out of the two, unless they both have fantastic World Series and just one ends up losing. If they're both hit 2 to 3 home runs or driving 8 RBI, that's going to be a big deal for them because they're doing it when they're supposed to, and that's what the hobby loves.
So in baseball, I know that it's not necessarily driven by team stats. It's like Mike Trout's just individual stats and WAR and that sort of thing is really what drives what baseball fans like to collect and that sort of a thing. Is that kind of like the difference maker? When you look at, I think, what did Mantle have 5 titles, and some of these guys, they have the individual accolades, but then they also have titles. Is that what kind of makes the base, like, is that what creates kind of a baseball player that ascends, in the hobby or in that sport in particular?
Yeah, usually at least one ring. Because I mean, most of these guys that are those type of people, they're 15+ year players. So at some point they should have had a couple opportunities, if they're the player that we assume they are, to get that opportunity. Like obviously you have a Mike Trout, or I believe was it Ted Williams never won a World Series. You have guys like that, but they have a career. Yeah, King Griffey. You know what I mean? They have a Griffey, yeah. But it's just like so few and far between those guys exist, where everybody else has to have an accolade behind them. So if Derek Jeter never won 4 World Series or whatever, would people think he's as great as he was? Probably not.
Yeah, is it, if you're a Yankee collector, do you need that player to have World Series rings? Because that's almost kind of part of the heritage, isn't it? Like if you're a Yankees fan, that's kind of part of the deal. They've, the legends have all won.
What's interesting is a sign here in Tampa has like one empty spot left before they have to put a new board on it, and it just looks like it's probably supposed to be this year. When you look at all the numbers and you start looking at the last 2 dates, you're just like, that would probably fit right here.
Yeah, I mean, they've looked good. Yeah,
I think that would be big for Judge.
Yeah,
like solidifying the Yankee, like he's been there the whole time. For him to get a ring in the books, I think would be pretty good for him.
Well, with basketball cards, is it more that we're just getting back to kind of like the way it used to be? Whereas like during the pandemic, that was kind of the weird time where everybody was speculating on, second tier players and like role play. Oh, 6th man of the year all of a sudden is like, like cards are going, like everyone's specking on everything. But that's not always the way that it was for basketball cards. It was like Jordan, Kobe, you're collecting, the stars. And then, like, I don't know, you pull a Steve Kerr card out of your 89 hoops or whatever. You're like, oh, that's cool. But, like nobody's really speculating holding on to the role players. So I just kind of wonder, like, did the hobby get all weirded out during the kind of that pandemic period where everyone was specking on everything? And then now it's like, oh, it's all trash. But it's like, wasn't that kind of how it always was before 2020?
Yeah. The difference between before 2020 is we had these collective group of players, especially in basketball, but across football too and other sports, where we had these perennial people. We're watching, Hall of Famers in action forever. It's the same old thing, so it's no surprise. And then somebody new pops up and start getting a little surprised. And now these guys are getting old. We're all trying to figure out who's the new face of the leagues, who's the new perennial guy that he's going to be the All-Star game every year. He's going to take his team hopefully to the playoffs, maybe win some rings. Like it's just like, it's interesting because I've always said the last 3 years, the changing the guard, and really what has happened is it looks like we've entered the decade of the juniors, because everybody's a junior, it seems like, or they're, a spawn of the previous guy that was a player in the league, whether he was good or bad. But they're better because of the coaching and time and the atmosphere they grew up in. They had a leg up on everybody. And I think we're just trying to figure out who are going to be those people. But we also live in a micro make me happy scenario for sports right now, to where we might look back and go, wow, this guy had a great 10 years, but we were giving him shit every single year because he wasn't doing this or that, or was bad this year and good this year. And it's like, wait, hold on, this guy's got a really good career, and we're just bashing him every other week while he's playing. Oh shit, what's that?
Hold on, we got Edward Scissorhands just
no. See, this was supposed to be
that? What happened? What?
Look, we said we were going to do a Halloween episode. It's a good thing I didn't wear my costume because you guys aren't in yours. I just rushed home from work, got a new job, got to pay the bills somehow, stripping and not flipping because I can't flip shit, right? So
that's
here we
true.
are.
All the gamblers from the casino are now doing breaks and repacks. So Steve's got to figure out something else.
I need to know how confused
I'm starting a new
Daisy
breaking
right now.
I got to get with Ziggy and I got to start a new breaking company. I heard sex sells. I've been in the gym working hard.
You had it perfectly right, except you said with Ziggy. That was the only thing that.
Well, I got to get my foot in the door somehow.
That was the dumb part, but the rest of it.
Yeah. When you say you know somebody, you just don't pick anybody. You just go straight in.
Are you going to be the kings of cards?
Well, the king. We can't pluralize that. There can be only one. And I got the cuffs and everything.
Oh, that is nice. Is it hot in that, or how cool is it up where you're at right now?
Well, this hair is hot. The rest of the outfit, if I was cold, I'd put on a shirt.
I like it, Steve.
You look good with an extra 50 pounds of muscle on you.
I had to pull my hair back too because it kept getting in my face. I know
it happens to me all the time, man. I know it's rough.
That's a hell of a mane.
Yeah.
All right, we got Ray's LeBron James cards. What's going on?
Yeah. Hey, Shelby, how you doing? Shelby always likes for me to say hi to her.
All right. Brothers from the other mothers. Welcome in, Robert. Pick 6 cards. That's basically what the Saints have been doing this week. Throwing pick 6s. What's up? Who dat? Who dat right now is every team.
Yeah, we got to definitely do some football talk tonight.
Woo. The good news is that half the Bucs offense just went down with injury. So the Falcons keep losing. The Panthers.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, no, the Saints they're probably the most injured team in the NFL. So we need the rest of the division to catch up.
I don't know. I think I'm driving right up behind there right now. So
Taysom Hill, Olave, Shaheed is done for everyone's done, dude. Like everybody.
Those 3 guys don't even equal Mike Evans, so it doesn't matter.
And Godwin's
those 3 guys definitely.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
how many touchdowns Olave have this year?
I don't know off the top of my head, but
Mike Evans had more in one game.
Olave hasn't been very good this year.
Mike Evans is 40. Mike Evans is on this is where the injuries start piling up. It's time. It's time for Mike.
They should never been playing him. He's been injured since the season started with that hamstring. He's been playing through it every game, and he just pulled it on that last one.
They mismanaged both of those guys. Godwin probably shouldn't even been in the game on that
last
agree,
catch. But first of all, what happened? I can go back. I was at the game when we didn't freaking throw the flag on that defensive touchdown where everybody dogpiled the guy, but he still ended up in the end zone, and then they called it back because he said he was touched. He didn't have the ball until he stood up. So he wasn't even down, and the damn coach wouldn't throw the flag. He's a little sissy. He needs to get his ass out of here. And then the defense fell apart. Baker tried too hard, and it was just a freaking nightmare.
Look, Filmington in the chat says draft better. He commented that in our Instagram chat.
Filmington. I thought that was pretty cold to say.
I was talking about my injuries. I started the fantasy season good, so my draft was good. I beat Filmington, so I don't know why he's talking. He's one of my wins. I've just gone on a skid lately with all those damn injuries. I lost Ayuk and Godwin this week, so
oh yikes!
So where am I? Out for the season.
Marvin Harrison Jr. has been.
He's been a bum. Yeah, I've had lots of busts and lots of injuries. Only person for me that's really started to do good is Breece Hall. But Harrison's been a bust. Kincaid's been a bust. Ayuk was a bust. Now he's hurt. Godwin's hurt. Etienne is hurt.
Yeah, no, your team is pretty rough. I mean, my biggest thing has been Dak Prescott being a piece of crap. Doesn't really help.
Damn.
Well, if Shelby wasn't listening, it would have been a different word.
Ham's got hurricane anger, and I like it.
I got a lot of anger.
Keep on coming.
But I'm still like 3-4, I think. So I'm hanging in there. I'll get it. I'll get it right.
I think I'm 1-6. When I played Dustin, I had White in, and then all of a sudden he's out for the game.
I was watching that. I was watching that leading up to kickoff. I was like, please God, let him not take him out. Please God.
I did that in one league.
I was dealing with a hurricane anyway. I was literally in a building that was surrounded by 3.5 feet of water, praying that the power didn't go out. So
I had Debo Samuel in a league this week, and he got scratched right before the game with what ended up being pneumonia. They just said mysterious sickness at first. I didn't have time to take him out of my lineup because it happened like he may have actually played a snap, and then they were like, "Oh no, he's too sick to play."
I got screwed on sicknesses this week because they said Kenneth Walker was sick, and I benched him, and then he ended up playing and had like 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah, we got to fight through it. I'm tied for first with like 5 other people, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm gonna start rolling some wins together here and try and get back into this here.
I would rather know that a player is going to be out than start them and them get hurt early. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It was the week before I put up 123 points in Etienne and and Harrison. I lost on the first play from scrimmage for like each of them.
Jeff Becker, how much were the WNBA Origins boxes and cases that sold out? Here's the thing is everything sells out in quotation marks. I just don't know. Like they put up, they probably have 20 cases that they put up, and in 5 minutes they sell out 20 cases, and they got 200 cases in the back that, whatever. It's like, I don't know how much I believe about the selling out. I like Origins. I've always liked the look of Origins.
No, I know it's not selling out. My local guy here has said, because each time they do it, the second wave that they're forced to buy is always more expensive than the first wave. So they're deliberately holding it back, even from the main vendors or dealers for stores. So
it's everything. A new process. On that reverse Dutch auction thing, are they doing everything like that? Where they started at $2,000 and they drop it down from there? Are they doing all their products like that?
Yeah, but they'll also cut it short if it starts to hit a number they don't feel comfortable with. They'll just kind of stop it, pretend it's sold out. Again, it's about money, and we're all stupid when we buy it. So it's a manipulation thing, and they just feed into it. They gotta get Ziggy's stuff to break. So he's hooking them up.
Ziggy's buying everything out at $3,000 a box. All right. Mountains got dumped on. Yeah. We're actually heading out to Asheville. We're heading out to Asheville area in a few weeks, 3 weeks. We're doing like the log cabin thing. So hopefully like stores are open and stuff. I think we're all right.
The cabin's still there. Have you confirmed?
Yeah. Well, it's our friend's rental place. So we know it's still there. But
up there, certain areas just got destroyed, like gone. And then there's certain areas like nothing happened.
Yep.
The same thing down here.
Shout out Warcraft, Ohio. Neo, do you guys play Warcraft together?
No.
People still play Warcraft?
I used to.
No. Do people still play Warcraft?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I believe so.
I'm pretty sure. I stopped playing when I started YouTube, and now I don't do YouTube. So it's like, what should I do now? I don't know.
Yeah, we actually talked about that before we went live. It's been almost exactly 2 months since you posted a video.
It's only been 2 months? Good. I can get back in. I thought it was so late that it was too late.
I thought it'd been longer, frankly.
We'll go with 2 months.
Steve, what would it take to get you back into the hobby?
Oh, I'm not out of the hobby.
Well, I mean,
he's here tonight dressed up. He's
why are you not documenting?
He's got a date tonight, and that's his outfit for his date.
You guys know that I sold all the Justin Fields cards. That could have been a video. I bought some stuff at the National that I never showed. I could just put them into a video. I could do reviews of stuff, but I don't want to do that. I don't know. It's a lot of work.
And the way you do 1 or 2 videos, buy and flip, it seems like that availability's changed so much that it's not as simple to do anymore, and the margin is no longer there.
I guess it depends on what you're doing. It's
like to buy to grade, unless you're buying high end to hope to get a high enough grade that's raw, you can't. I'm looking at some cards that I'm pricing here.
I'm not buying high end.
How much does it cost to grade a PSA card right now?
Like $15.
$25 off if you've never done it before.
Yeah, correct.
SCD5 coupon code.
I thought we were only supposed to grade with SGC, Dustin.
I never said that. I never said you grade with one company.
Want to use one as a
that's a made up narrative.
I mean, the best thing to do. The best thing
here's
to
like
do.
a Kyle Tucker PSA 10 Topps Chrome rookie.
Okay.
It's like $20 to grade, right? That's big what PSA costs to grade. Okay, yeah. It sells for $20.
Yeah, but it's what you're grading there, Ham, right?
But if you have, but I'm just saying, if you have a 9, you can get $5 for it.
Okay.
What's the point of grade? You know what I'm saying? The margin back then, even you could get a 9, you could still get better than raw.
Well, I mean, don't grade Kyle Tucker Topps Chrome base.
Yeah, I think that says more about the Kyle Tucker base card market than it does.
Listen, well, if you're not paying attention to Kyle Tucker as anybody to go forward with, you're not paying attention to the right people. Because the guy's phenomenal. He was just injured most of the season.
Well, there's
other than that.
Key footnote, injured most of the season. So, I mean, you got to be in the headlines. You know that.
I agree. I still don't know why the difference between a BGS 9.5 and a PSA 10 is so vast. That's still boggles me because everybody breaks the 9.
People are not buying the card.
Here's the thing.
People don't have faith. People don't have faith.
Yes. I mean, there's certain things that are givens, though. You know, just like a complex math problem. There's a couple of givens that are before you even have to figure anything out or do any thinking for yourself. There's some givens, and that's one of the givens. One of the givens is a PSA 10 outsells a BGS 9.5. So as somebody who's trying to just flip, you go that direction, right? Also, when you're talking about the base cards, we know that is down. Another given is the price that the grading company is going to charge you. That's stuff that we know. You take all that stuff into account before you decide this is what I want to buy and this is what I want to grade.
So, like, for instance, I was looking, again, these are cards I bought a huge collection. So I have this is a Topps Chrome rookie Aaron Judge All-Star Game card out of Update, okay? This is a BGS 9.5. The last one of these, which is the only one that I could find, sold for $200. Okay, which is way above what it should be selling for, because the PSA 10 of the same card sold for 110. 200, 110. Why?
Well, how close were those sales?
They were recent, like October. In October.
eBay sales.
eBay, and then I checked 130 point.
What were they both eBay?
Someone just made a mistake.
Yeah, both eBay.
I mean, there could be lots of stuff. There could also be an outlier too.
I think it's an outlier. Like, I think it's honestly a $100 card in a BGS 9.5. But like going through and just looking at what some cards are selling for now and what they used to sell for, I think that's what hurts a lot of people mentally that have been in collecting in that whole COVID through now. So you look at a card, you're like, oh, numbered to 99. Top player in the league, on card auto. It should be $100 card. You look it up, $40.
When it comes to grading, when it comes to grading, during pandemic, post pandemic, as recent as maybe 2 to 3 months ago, for myself, the one thing that has always stood true for my experience is that you grade stuff that not everybody else is grading.
Yeah,
you don't want a big grade because then you eliminate a lot of your selling competition. Like a lot of that stuff that you just showed, lots of people are grading them. And I'm not even talking about as far as low pop and high pop goes. I'm just talking about grading stuff. And you have to steer more towards the collectors now. Like, what is a card that somebody's going to like to add to their collection, not buy off you so that they can resell it and try to squeeze a couple dollars out of it?
Ain't no money in that more.
No, I agree. But I agree with you. I think there's a shift into what people are actually – you always have everybody just buying to try to resell, get in on a margin, get out on a margin.
Well, you saw some of the
people
stuff
that are really looking to buy. Now they're interested in what they really want.
A lot of the margins don't even make sense, though. It's like, we're going to make 10% on this. Like, really?
Once you
pay for your table and your taxes, or like 10% margin means negative margin, basically. Like,
but pre-national, you saw a lot of the stuff I was buying and flipping. That's when I was still shooting a lot of footage, and it was a lot of Topps finest gold refractors from 99 and 2000. And they weren't the best players, but I can tell you that if you get good grades on those, people collect some of those players because they're hometown heroes or unsung heroes or somebody to me like a Zach Thomas. All right.
Yeah.
I sold a nice Donovan McNabb gold refractor that I bought for $1. And because it graded out well, I got $300 for it. Donovan McNabb's not even in the Hall of Fame. Some people may argue that he should be, but I know that Philadelphia fans loved him. I live close enough to Philadelphia to know that, to know his impact on this area. So that's a card that somebody bought because they collect Eagles or they collect Donovan McNabb. They didn't buy that card because they're like, I can buy this and resell it for more money.
Well, really,
so that's kind of
like what you're saying, Steve. It's like nice sets, nice cards, like, exquisite. You can get if you get a good deal on exquisite, but it's just the right player that someone's looking for. You just catch a good auction on it, or like what you're talking about, Topps Finest Golds or whatever, Topps Chrome Gold, whatever it is, blacks at a 25 or whatever it is, if you just catch a good auction on those things.
Yeah, I mean, you look for the players that you think, and a lot of times you go back.
Dude, you see your Marino? You see your Marino Essential Credentials?
No.
There's an Essential Credentials Marino, a Dan Marino. That's going to be a 6-figure card. Let me actually look it up.
Oh, really?
It's at like 90 grand or something. Let me look it up. I think it's on Golden. Where was it at?
I don't know why. I mean, I've seen the EX Credentials in person. To me, they're not that fantastic. I know they're rare because of the stupid numbers, but there's way rare, nicer looking inserts of all these players.
Well, it's a 90, dude. It's a 90s insert stuff. It's a 90s.
I agree, but there's other 90s. What's his PMG sell for?
I don't know. Let me see if I can find it while you guys are talking.
But you look at the guys that really had an effect on their community, or really took their team on a ride, and they may have only had 3 or 4 really good seasons, but they were very impactful to the. Like, I sold Doug Flutie cards. Nice, they were nice ones, but I bought them for not much money. But I know that Bills fans love Doug Flutie. They had a cereal named after him in the 90s. There was the whole Flutie Magic thing and the Flutie Flakes, and he was just a player that people could gravitate to because he was an underdog, but he did really good for their team. And people in sports today don't talk about Doug Flutie, but in the city of Buffalo, he's still popular.
Yeah, no, I don't think Beckett's going to go out of business, but
that card sold and I can't find it.
Beckett's smoked. They're done.
Some of the common things.
Neo from the top rope out of nowhere. Beckett's.
Paint me a viable path to Beckett being a relevant hobby company again.
Somebody else buys them.
Fanatics buys them or something.
Just somebody buys them. Literally, it would. The hobby's so stupid. They'll all be like, "Beckett's great again." It's the same as PSA. That's because that's how stupid they get. But
I think it would involve making some changes.
If someone bought them, they'd have to spend a boatload of money fixing them. That's part of the problem.
I don't think they would. I think everybody's just waiting. Most people don't.
Beckett's infrastructure is shot.
But we don't care about the infrastructure. We care about the stupid plastic piece with the logo on it. That's all we
care about. The infrastructure when you send your card in and you don't get it back for 6 to 10 months.
I'm not the one that says BGS is worth less than PSA. I'm not the one stating that. I think it's bullshit. The way grading works, there's no way there's that big of a difference that the price dictates that information just because of the brand in the case. There's nothing. We know that's not true.
The only thing they could say Beckett would be Fanatics, and that might even be a stretch.
Yeah, that would be a stretch. That wouldn't surprise me, but that would be a stretch. And I don't think of another company trying to buy them out. Like, I don't see a PSA trying to gobble them up. Maybe. I mean, that'd be the same idea that Ruben took.
I mean, it's just a brand name thing, and it's really what people prefer and their perception. Yeah. I mean, you could say Levi's jeans and Calvin Klein jeans, right? The price is different. One's going to cost you a lot more money, but which ones do you like better?
Yeah.
I mean, the perception is that the Calvin Klein jeans are better because they're more expensive and they're a big designer company. And we know that company down here, but we know
PSA has the registry, and that's what drives a lot of value as well. Because if they didn't have the registry the way they do, the value definitely wouldn't be there, because there'd be no reason for a lot of, or very specific cards, especially, to be very high price for people to compete with each other within a registry who has the best, the most, or completed something, because they created an internal game. It's just like they do with the apps that I play with them. They create an internal game for the people that actually spend money to show they're better than somebody else, to see that they're ranked higher than somebody else. And there's people that just feed off of that. And if you have endless money, you don't care. You like to play that game because it's easy for you to do.
The other problem that Beckett has is that most of the people that really, really like them are continuing to age up, and anyone younger and newer grew up with the mindset that Beckett is not that great. It's all PSA. So that's not going to help them either as time goes on.
I agree.
And
Beckett will, I would boldly say that Beckett will never be hobby relevant again.
Hot take.
I don't know. I still think a black label outsells a PSA 10, and that creates relevance. So
a black label does,
until that goes away, they have relevance.
There's the black label does, but you also have a pristine 10 that's actually where the gap is closed on a PSA 10 and a BGS 10. It used to be a nice multiplier on a BGS 10 over a PSA 10, and that gap is really closed if there's even much of a gap at all now.
Yeah, usually a pristine 10. Because I was pricing this card right here, which is a pristine 10 on the Judge. It's not a rookie; it's second year. But the last PSA 10 of this did 110, and the pristine BGS with 3 10s and a 9.5 did 150. So there's still a 15-20% uptick. And I
remember when you had that pristine Zion, Steve. What a pain in the ass that card was.
Oh yeah, but I mean that one.
That was in the pandemic. Like that was.
Well, that one moved.
Pandemic.
That one moved at the Atlantic City National, and I mean, that was more so the fact that it was a Zion card, not necessarily the grade on it. Because I moved some BGS 10s. I had a BGS 10 Kyler downtown rookie coming into this season that I moved.
Wow.
If you guys remember that.
Downtown is a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, but
there you go, Steve. 90 G's with a day left.
Hey, some rich person in Miami's probably buying that. Stephen Ross.
There's 2 graded higher as well. I mean, I get it's rare, it's out of 8, but it's not like it's the highest graded version or something.
I don't think the grade means a whole lot there.
It doesn't when it's numbered out of 8. Yeah, but it does, but it doesn't, but it does. I mean,
yeah, but you can say that there's 8 of them, but how many of those are circulating? I mean, how many of them are openly trading? They're coffin cards, right? If you're a Merino collector, you buy that and it's gone with you.
They could all be in authentic cases. I get it. And it would still sell for a lot of money. But all I'm saying is if you're someone that's got the PSA 10 or whatever, and this 7 is sitting at 90K, then you're feeling pretty good.
Those are people so attached to having the card, they won't sell it.
I think if they both went to market at the same time, but say they go to market a year, 2, 3 years apart from each other, I don't think it's going to hold a lot of significance.
So other than this card, I think I saw the highest selling Dan Marino card was 27 grand before this ever.
Was that a PMG?
I don't know.
The greens?
If I can find it. Yeah, let me see if I can dig around and figure out.
Marino, Marino is Marino. He always has a strong market. And the thing about his market is a lot of people in his market have money because you're talking about Miami, South Beach, things like that.
South Beach. It's Pitbull.
Bringing the heat.
Yeah. That's a nice place to hang out. I couldn't live there. I would die down there if I lived in South Beach. It's too much fun. But yeah, it's fun to visit.
Great people watching.
Yeah, what happened? We don't even know what's going on with the dog. You haven't made a video in 2 months. Is she like...
Oh, she's good.
Did you give her away or what? Like, we don't know.
No, I've been gone for 3 days, so she was hyped when I just got home. We went to Salem, Massachusetts, like the week before Halloween to do some Halloween stuff.
Steve's new channel is that new hobbyist cosplay.
No, Neo is the cosplay channel.
Neo's just posted 2 hours of cosplay at the New York Comic-Con.
This is a one-night special, all right? Take it in while you can.
So did any of the ladies in cosplay, were they like, hey, buddy, can you not video me? It's getting kind of weird.
They want that. They're there for a reason.
I thought Neo was going to wear his Wolverine outfit.
I was hoping I'd get at least some image of Neo in a costume.
Nope. No chance of that.
Oh, God.
No shot.
Okay. So let's talk about that quickly. We'll dip over to the NYCC. Was everything you thought it would be? Was it good?
Yeah, I mean, it's my 3rd one in a row, so I kind of know what the lay of the land is at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was freaking, I mean, just insanely busy. The only thing that was different this time, it's first time I went on a weekend. Usually we just did Thursday and Friday and kind of did city stuff on Saturday and Sunday. But we went all 4 days this year, and it was almost too crowded. Like, there were just times when you're like, I don't even really want to be walking around in this building right now.
Can be. I haven't quit content. I'm just taking a little break. The summertime gets busier for me, and I slow down on other things. And I kind of relate it to like going to the gym. Like, you keep telling yourself I'm gonna go to the gym, and when you finally go, though, you keep going. Like the first gym is the hardest day is the first, right, to go. But once you go and start, then you're like, oh, I got to go every day, and you just go. It's kind of like me with videos. I keep telling myself I'll put a video out next week. I'll put one out tomorrow. Eventually, I'll put one out, and then when I put one out, I'll start putting them out regularly again. It's just like getting over the hump of putting out another video. I wish I could just film everything live. That way, it would just upload as soon as I was done. Because really, it's not the talking and having stuff to talk about as much as it is editing and uploading and all that stuff. That's why I still show up for the live streams. It's not because of these guys. It's because, it's easy.
Jeez.
And you guys in the comments, I'm just, come on, guys.
That was
I'll apologize backstage.
That was a switch kick in the nuts.
I know, really. Have you all seen
you guys left me hanging? You told me it was a Halloween special.
It was a Halloween special, and then we turned it
off.
You
said that. We never agreed.
Steve turned it into his own Halloween special.
Have y'all seen these 2024 Eternal Cuts World Celebrity cards?
No.
Who makes it?
Where they've taken, I guess, pieces of handwritten letters from super famous people, whether they're historical or they're all historical, I guess. And then they put them into cards. But this stuff is like out of China. But some of the cards look really nice. If you get a chance, just type in 2024 Eternal Cuts. And they're really cool. And realistically, I think a box of like 3 cards or 4 cards is $200, but most cards sell for like $30 to $40 on eBay right now, from whatever they're breaking. And there are a few that go for more, but it's just pieces of handwritten letters that they cut up and then put in the cards. And then obviously if there's an autograph, they have like 1-of-1 cuts where it's a whole autograph, but they'll take like one of the cards I was looking at was Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley. And then there's Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla, Genghis Khan, a couple pharaohs. I'm like, where'd they get some of this crap from? George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. I just find it interesting, and they're really nice looking cards. I haven't won any of them yet. Babe Ruth is also in this. His cuts actually. It's 2024 Eternal Cut World Celebrities.
But you said it was from China?
That's where they're made, and that's where they're all being broke from. But I don't know if I can show you. This is the Babe Ruth.
Right, where'd they get all that? Where'd they get all that Americana stuff?
Probably at auctions. That's what I've been trying to find out.
Yeah, maybe at auctions, or maybe they manufacture it themselves over there.
That's very possible too. I mean, the paper and the writing on a lot of them is actually really old, so you can kind of go a little bit off that.
It could be legit. Could be legit. All right, Steve, we've got a Miami Dolphins. You've moved on to the Chiefs now. You're a Chiefs fan, but just let's pretend like you're still a Dolphins fan for a second.
Play them soon.
What's the story with Tua? Your take this week?
We need him, but is it? I don't know. I'm scared to watch him play.
Right.
I think he'll be good. I think he'll be effective. He can't be any worse than what we have.
I've got Tyreek Hill, so I need someone to throw him the ball.
Right. I mean, we were handily getting our ass kicked by the Bills before he got hurt. It's not like he got hurt early and then the Bills kicked our ass. So the Bills kicked our ass and then knocked him out, literally, or he knocked his own self out. And then we have backups that are backups for a reason. They're terrible. Miami's offense is complex, right? You have offenses where you throw to an open receiver, and then you have offenses where you throw to a spot, and it's all timing, and you hope that your receiver and your ball get there at the same time. When Miami brought in backups, they needed to change their offensive plan. Mike McDaniel has handled this situation terrible, and the front office handled the Tua situation terrible. But they needed to either have a quarterback in place that could run that system, or they needed to scale the system back to a more basic system just to get through these weeks. And they didn't do either. So here we are, can't even like score 10 points against some of the worst teams in the NFL. The Colts' defense is god awful. We couldn't score more than 10 points. So we missed a field goal at the end. But I mean, even if we make that field goal, putting up 13 points against the Colts is god awful. But Tua has proven that for our system, I guess he's worth what we paid him, because without him, we can't even get a first down. Tyreek Hill had a catch last week, right? One.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yep, that's why I lost to Phil.
So, I mean, yeah, if you're in fantasy sports, you realize people are praying for Tua to come back who own Dolphins players. I have Jalen Waddle. I acquired him in a trade because somebody absolutely wanted to dump him. So I picked up Jalen Waddle like 3 weeks ago for dirt in fantasy because I know I can stash him, and when Tua comes back, he becomes, a top 20 wide receiver again in fantasy. But I was able to trade like a waiver wire pickup for him. So we'll see what happens, but is it going to be worth it in the end? I mean,
he doesn't die.
The only thing that would make
damn, man.
I mean, at the end of the day, the only thing that would make it worth it, and I'm not even talking about me as a fan, I'm talking about Tua. The only thing that should make it worth it to him is that he comes back and Miami goes and they win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because honestly, what are you doing? You're really putting your health, I don't want to say your life, but you're really putting your health and your future on the line for what? It can't be to make the playoffs and be done. Maybe it's just for the competitive nature of the game. That could be what it is, because athletes, competitors, that's their addiction.
The reason I said don't die is because I had 2 back-to-back years of fantasy baseball that a pitcher on my team died each year mid-season.
What?
Yeah, Jose Fernandez died, and then I think like an Indians pitcher or something had died back-to-back year. So it was dangerous to be on my team because you might not make it at the end of the year. It was sucked.
And again, his concussion things go back to 2 seasons ago, because this was the scare. This was the worry coming into this season.
Yeah.
I mean, coming into last season, coming into 2023 was, Tua's 1 concussion away from being done, or Tua's always injured, Tua this, Tua that. He played the entire season. He didn't miss a game. So we were a complete season removed from when he actually had the initial concussions, which is crazy, because we've already had this worry and this build-up once.
Yeah, speaking of quarterbacks, Neo, what's going on down there in Cleveland, or up there in Cleveland, I should say?
We got Jameis now, man. We're
Thank
set.
God.
For life.
Finally,
I saw that. You got Jameis
forced into the light.
We put the hit out on Watson. We're all good now.
Jameis. Oh man, famous Jameis.
I hope to God that he throws 4 touchdowns and then wins the game. The next game,
He'll throw 4 touchdowns. He'll just also throw 4 interceptions.
That's fine.
It's
better than everybody else just throwing interceptions and no touchdowns.
I'm taking my youngest son to his first game in the Dome. So his first ever game was last year. We went to Tampa, and the Saints, probably the best Saints game I've seen against the Bucs. We won like 23-7 or something like that. It just like everything went right for us. It was towards the end of the season. And but so I wanted his first game to be away. I didn't want his first game to be at home. So now he'll get like both, get the feel for both. But we're going to the Browns game. We're going to the Browns November 17th. What it is. So, but I'm like, Jameis is going to come back into the Superdome and light us up for like 6 TDs.
Didn't Jameis do that play last year for the Saints where the coach told him to like
yes.
And
he literally disobeyed the coach
and handed it off for a touchdown or something.
Like an audible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, I wanted to get it for him. I wanted to get it but he completely disobeyed the coach. He said he wanted to get a touchdown
anymore.
Oh man,
that's funny. I'm only 12 minutes behind on chat. We're doing pretty good here.
12 minutes.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Jay is
in the same chat 4 times in a row. It shouldn't even count.
We got a spam. V4 engine is a 4-cylinder piston engine where the cylinders are arranged in a V shape.
If you're gonna put something in the chat, tell me how to make a engine that runs on water, because I'm over this gasoline shit. That was hell around here too, when there was no gas and everybody, your last drop of gas, you're driving around 30, 40 minutes, hoping you can find a gas station with gas. People would literally park their car at a pump and be like, I'll come back tomorrow, sleep in my car and wait for the gas to show up. That's how bad it got, to the point that the gas stations that were getting gas had to get police out there to block it off, put cones out, and create an orderly line to go and get gas. That's how bad it got. They didn't want food. They needed gas. And we didn't have any power anywhere for days. I didn't have power in my house for 5 days. So it's like, if you found a McDonald's that had power, it was so jam-packed, it was crazy. Everybody was sitting inside in the air condition. Everybody was eating the cheap crap food. I probably gained 10 pounds. I ate McDonald's every day, twice a day, because it was convenient.
And now everyone's got listeria or whatever the hell is coming out of.
Yeah, nobody done this up in Colorado. We're all fine down here.
Oh, okay. I love this. Laces out. What do you know? Little footballs. Such a classic. Such a classic.
You could
I show the kids like literally like every probably couple of weeks we watch the Dolphin scene where he's like the German instructor or whatever coming out of the tank.
On my feed today, actually.
Yeah, I watch that probably at least a few times a month with the kids. All right.
Yes, John, I'm the only one that didn't wear a costume tonight. I feel left out.
So right now we're I guess we're close to halfway through the season, right, for football?
Well, we're coming into
7 games in.
Close.
Yeah.
Coming into week 8.
If you were going to have a prediction of the Super Bowl, who would you choose right now? AFC, NFC?
I just feel like the Chiefs are destined to win.
Yeah, I can't stop the Chiefs. If Mahomes wins another one at this point, what stops his cards or anything else from? Now he's starting to talk about you're really approaching on Brady. Like you're really starting to approach.
Well,
he's got a lot of life left to him.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting one though, because like
they're not winning because of him.
He's got 6 touchdowns and 8 picks or something like that. So it's kind of like
he's having what would be a bad season for him.
Brady never won a title with that sort of, like that sort of. He was always,
To put his stats in perspective, he's like QB 16 in fantasy.
Yeah.
In a 12-team fantasy league, he's not even a starter.
But I agree with you. He could challenge the 7 championships if they just keep on, winning. If they keep on winning, he's young enough.
Yeah,
he's young enough.
Now the question is, because last year they were kind of the same way. Their offense statistically was the worst that we had ever seen, but he did lead the game-winning drive and things like that. So if he still gets it done when he needs to get it done, that's the important part. He could go the regular season and not have a great stat line, but come playoffs and Super Bowl when they lean on him and need him to do something to make a play, if he still does.
Can you ever expect the 49ers to actually win? I mean, it just seems like the team breaks down every year.
Mm-hmm. They got rid of their best quarterback. They should have kept Darnold.
And that's a dangerous team now. Minnesota's a dangerous team.
I told everybody Darnold was better than Purdy. Let's see the comments on that.
I'll agree with you.
You won't see him for about a half an hour.
All I see is Shaqnar Tamara.
Neo didn't post anything, but he did send me this one pic of himself there. Hold on one second.
Oh no. Not the Wolverine pic.
Let me see if I can just pull it up.
Claire Bryant is now doing this V8 engine thing. You need to block some people. Oh no.
Oh man. Classics. Yeah, no, he didn't want to share that publicly, but that was just one that he had shot over to me.
I didn't get that in my Instagram post.
Good evening, OG Sports Cards.
Dustin, you need to get Chad under control with
because
these V8
my area is full of excitement because we also have to figure out where our baseball team's going to be playing next season because they can't play in Tropicana Field anymore.
I got to get rid of this.
That's going to be really interesting because they're trying to figure out if they could possibly use the Tampa Yankee Stadium that's across the street from the Buck Stadium.
He's coming in on you guys, so you got to bump him.
He's not on me.
I already did.
Don't look at me. I don't tag any of this shit.
You're
He
way
was
behind.
coming in under Neo. He was in under 2 accounts. He coming in under another account too.
There's like
Man,
4
this
different
is-
accounts I've blocked so far.
I like the
Oh,
ones
okay.
that linked you to something fun.
Yeah, I just released. I didn't mean to, but I didn't have any time. But I put out a second video today because Jeff talked to Josh Luber, and Josh Luber's coming out with like ghost toys, and I was just like, "What in the actual hell is going on?"
I think all these other companies are starting to just reach for different things.
You know what it is? Like everyone's buying stupid shit, so they're like, "All right, guys, put your heads together. We're coming up with a toy line. V Friends, ghost toys, whatever." Like. People will buy anything. They'll just buy anything. Just make something. I was joking in my video, like we should have like our own. Everyone should have their own line of something.
And just serial number it and make every
Serial number
exclusive out of their week, and
Just
Here's
do
the
it. Yeah.
that's what the YouTube guys do. They have their followings. Their swag for the week or the month, and it's only for this month and this stupid color. And then they change the color next month and act like they're selling something new. It's the same shit over again. But people eat it up. So whatever.
Well, that might be a new venture coming soon.
Yeah.
All right. I skipped past. Let's see.
I don't think Kelsey's over the hill. I think Kelsey's just preoccupied.
Live drives to work. Jordan Hudson makes a good point, Steve. You could just do a live drive into work with your thoughts.
I work late now, though.
What does that matter?
It'd be like the really later at night anyway.
It's after hours.
It'd be
It'd
the
be
same.
dark.
Spoilers,
making a
people
video.
watch it after the fact.
And it'd be dark. You wouldn't be able to see me.
That would actually
That might be a benefit.
Probably.
Paint your
probably
face
hit a
white.
beer.
Can you do
Literally.
white face? I know you can't do blackface, but can
a
you do
guy
white?
driving in the dark talking about life and cards.
Paint your
That sounds
face
like-
white and wear white gloves to where you look like a mime, and then we'll be able to see you.
You have white gloves in the car only for the live drives. Your wife,
Yeah,
your wife
those
is
aren't my
like,
Michael Jackson gloves. They're my mime gloves.
oh, speaking of Michael Jackson, we have to announce for John that Smokey Robinson and Diana Ross are the true parents. We have to make sure that we put that in. We don't want to forget to let the people know that.
I forgot he sponsored this now for your once a off-centered
He
hit.
made a hilarious short for your campaign for
He did some. He's done some funny ones.
for
Yeah.
your campaign of
I told
what
him
is it, hobby president.
we've come a long way since he used to call me a zombie. He used to call me like a zombie
man.
or like Dustin worships the devil.
But
You know,
I think I linked one of them to you guys. And I saw that thing. And I died. I'd laugh in the one.
I mean, you still worship the devil. That hasn't changed.
Oh my
It's just-
god, it's so funny.
He called me out. He called me out.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it calling out when it's true?
Yeah, no, he was spilling facts. No, but it was funny. He made like a string of like SCD Satanist videos going back in time.
But yeah, earlier what you were talking about with Fanatics, I think they just used the hurricane as a way to get out of something they weren't prepared for, more than anything. I do think it'll be more successful if they do have it at the beginning of the year at some point in the first quarter. Just the way the sports play out, especially if you do it after football's over, where you can pull people to bring it in to make it maybe a bigger event than what it was going to be. That would be very interesting. But because we still have multiple events coming up here. We have a big event at the stadium. We have a big event at the fairgrounds with like 80 signers at it. I mean, it's like there's stuff still going on all the way through November in the Tampa Bay area, sports card related with shows that are not normal to our area at all. There's two specific. There's a Sunday one at the convention center only, and then there's one at the Florida State Fairgrounds. It's a 2-day. That's the one with all the autograph guys and stuff. And then we
Florida's
have all our
underwater. No sports card shows. It's
Oh, they're still coming. They've already paid for it, so they don't have a choice. It'll be interesting to see what the turnout will be. Convention center one might be the trickiest because a lot of that was underwater.
Purdy's been average. Saying he's been good as a stretch. He's been average. He hasn't been as good as Darnold.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson's been good. Lamar Jackson's been good.
What would it
He's
take?
been good. He was good last week. We just padded his stats for him.
He's my fantasy one. He's my QB one. So I need to.
Well, last week he got 3,000 points.
And I still lost. I still lost.
He had 5 touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
What would it take at this point for you to book travel for a Fanatics backed event other than New York?
Without a guarantee? The cancellation guarantee.
Yeah. Like how many protections are you putting on mass travel for plane tickets?
All the protections.
This ain't coming in right.
There you go, baby.
You're just trying to get them right.
Were you out on flights for any of that for Orlando? Neo?
No, I never plan on going.
Oh, that's right. You weren't going to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I knew I had Comic-Con.
Yeah. I didn't buy anything related to it either.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, because as of right now, outside the New York thing, Fanatics is failing in that event category. Bad. I mean, they've had 3 events and 2 of them have been canceled.
Well, I'm just thinking like the dealer. I mean, yeah, if you're a dealer that bought paid out.
Well, remember, these dealers are also being told to go to these shows. There's not a no situation that goes on here. That's also it. I mean, they are the overlords, and it's just the way it is. Either play
and it was
ball
the same weekend as Dallas. So imagine the people that were like, well, I guess I got to go to this instead of Dallas.
Yep. Well, I know people like Bryant was going to do both. He was going to have one of them was going to, one of them would be in Dallas, the other one would be in Fanatics in Orlando.
Man, I don't know how they do that. That's why
I don't know either. I hardly get to see them anymore because even when I go to the shop, they're in Burbank or Wyoming or wherever the hell they're at. They're always at some weird other show. But they get invited because they bring good stuff. They make good deals. People like to interact with them. So there's that. And then Anna being female, she has a little bit of a different pull. So they pull them deliberately places for that as well. What's going on, Jeremy?
Jeremy Lee, what's up, dog?
Leroy.
Jenkins.
Oh, my God. I got in at midnight last night and I am dragging. I was wide awake. So I got in like travel all day. I couldn't just like go to sleep. So I was up to like 2, then up at 6, kids doing all that stuff, get the kids to school. Whew. Back to the grind.
You just got in from where?
From Mexico.
You just got back like last night?
Yeah, like 11:30.
I literally just got back from the Salem trip too before I logged on here.
Salem's Lot.
Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah, isn't that where the cemetery is?
That's where the witch trials took place.
The witch trials, yeah.
1692.
Are you a witch?
I am not.
I don't know. That's that hair.
Yeah, Neo, did you try to do like? Did you
sandwich?
Did
I
you
like
try
the
to
beach.
Pizza at 3 a.m. with swag, and he was like, it just wasn't the same. He's like, what do you mean?
Nah, it wasn't. Yeah, fighting off rats on the streets of New York City isn't the same as watching heroin addicts with Steve on the Atlantic City boardwalk.
They have Ninja Turtles there. You'll be all right.
Oh, did you go walking for pizza? Did you go walking for pizza?
You don't have to walk in New York. You just get on a subway and it just takes you to the pizza.
Oh, I wouldn't go to the subway in NYC these days, dude. I would not be
straight downstairs.
Hell no.
I've still never been in New York. I want to, but I mainly want to go for the food.
I've been in New York for 3 years in a row. There's 0 issues with the subway. I've had no problem. I've ridden the subway. I can't even tell you. Probably 200 times in the last 3 years with no problems.
You were dressed up in a fucking Batman suit. That's why
Wolverine, man. Ain't nobody fucking with
he was dressed up in his Wolverine gear. That's why no one messed with you. New York City.
If you're dressed up crazier than the crazy people, they're not going to fuck with you. No, not that one, guys. Not that one.
He's got the claws. He's got the claws and everything. They're like, hell no, get away from that guy.
He's licking the edge of the claw.
I've been in New York City twice in the last 3 months and had 0 issues traveling around.
Yeah, I had to drive through the Bronx and across the George Washington Bridge on my way to Massachusetts and back.
Yeah, Fanatics is only succeeding in getting people to buy product they don't want at a higher price than they need to break it open to make them money immediately. There's printing money, literally. That's the only thing they've been good at. Everything else has just been, you don't have a choice. We're getting ready, we're entering this. There's no competition for Fanatics.
What's up, Teapot?
I mean, I saw that Spidey, Spidey Hits had their like farewell to Marvel Masterpieces for Upper Deck since they're not going to have a license. Like,
did he bury a box like in a time capsule?
No, they're trying to open all of it because there's still some Spider-Man that's not been pulled out of one of the boxes. So they're talking about they're going to rip the rest of their product and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if that's necessary, but okay. Let's do it.
Chat's roasting you for the subway take, rightfully so, Dustin.
I've spent a lot of time in New York and it's changed over time.
What was the last year you were in New York City?
A couple years ago.
Okay.
2022. So I mean, yeah, but I have a lot of friends. I have friends. We have tons of friends that live up there, and they're like, no. My wife lived there when I met her.
Like, I'm not scared of the New York subway. It's just super crowded and packed. It's a little more difficult to navigate unless you know it already. So
Google Transit, man. Google Transit.
Well, no. Okay. Well, I'm going to compare it to, if I compare it to any other public transit system that I've ever been on in the States or in Europe, it's the worst. Okay, maybe it's not bad, but it's worse than any other one that I've ever ridden.
Shots fired.
He looks at what.
Damn. He comes in.
I'm just saying, if I was compare it to
rolls in for one take.
I know.
Just fires off a bazooka.
Drops.
That's
like
co-host on Spitballing Cards.
Right, let me fix my bow tie.
You should go to work like that, Steve.
I just got off work.
Oh, really? You went like that?
Matt, this was that was at Met Stadium. So
it's my second job, Ham.
Oh, okay, I know.
I got a new side hustle, man.
Because now you are the boss when you're wearing that. So you know what I mean? Nobody's gonna fuck with you.
Actually, this body piece is part of my Halloween costume coming up next week. The rest of this is just stuff that I throw on. This is part of a tuxedo.
Your Magic Mike costume.
This is part of my the Chippendale thing is part of my Tommy Boy or my Chris Farley outfit from last year.
Okay.
Because he did the Saturday Night Live thing. Then of course I've always had the black rocker wig. I just got it pulled back instead of down.
Look at you getting all creative with your hair.
But this I'm going to be Thanos because we're doing Villains Night Out for our Halloween party. So I have the gauntlet back there already.
Yep.
And this is going to be painted purple. This bodysuit that I have.
Nice. I like it. Make sure we get some pictures.
I have some like shoulder pads to put on, like some big gold shoulder pads and stuff. And I'm going to paint my whole entire head and face purple.
I can't wait.
Ooh, some smack talk, Neo, on the cosplay ladies in quotation marks.
Yeah. That's usually
who's Adam?
West, so.
Who's Adam? He wants his apples back.
It's not Steve is dressed as Meatloaf.
It's funny. My last year Halloween party was dead celebrities, and somebody did come dressed as Meatloaf because he had died not long before that, I don't think. But you could also put a spin on your dead celebrity. So he did Meatloaf from Fight Club. So he'd given himself a black eye and stuff like that. But we don't talk about Fight Club.
No. Don't get Neo upset here.
What's going on with the Cavs?
They're winning or won by like 30.
Oh, okay.
Why are you still watching?
He's just staring at the blank TV.
There's still 90 seconds left. You never know what can happen. They're up 134 to 104. It's anyone's game.
You never know.
Yeah, right. How much money do you have on this parlay? I mean, geez.
Is there money on a parlay?
No, it'd be awesome if there was. Steve, you should do like you make a bet on something and see how it plays out by using your knowledge over time on how things just play out and see how much you can win. And you don't have to put real money on it. Just put something out there and be like,
for
this
what?
Is what I would
for sports?
Yeah, for sports. Yeah.
Oh, sports betting's rigged, man. You can't bet that.
What?
Especially the NFL.
Anybody could drop a pass.
There's NFL spreads, man. Come on. I know better.
Just do it where, like, you gotta pick three players that'll have a touchdown.
Oh, like prop bets?
Yeah. Yeah, because now you can pretty much bet almost every minute of the game. So that, and like down here, the Hard Rock will buy you out of your bet in order to stop your bet from continually.
Yeah. Now you can just press a button and you can refinance your home to keep the bets going.
Yeah, because my buddy, he had like a 6-thing parlay that was hitting. And I think it was $50 a bet in, and at halftime, during all the games, they'd offered him $800 to stop. They're like, here's money, you can quit, because they were worried about they're going to lose more. And he ended up taking that because he's like, I don't have to worry about it, and I already made money. So
that's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. They're like, you want to cash out now, or you want to keep on going for the million?
but that's in Florida, because of the Hard Rock, you can do it while you're in Florida. And I'm sure other places do it like that too with other, casinos. But that's been something that's been really popular since that started here in the Florida area. What's going on, Orlando?
How's Orlando doing down in South Florida?
He's doing fine down there, from what I know. I mean, they didn't really get a ton of stuff.
Orlando, he's in Boca. Are you in Boca?
Down South Florida, and anything on the other coast for the most part, outside of Orlando area from Milton, hasn't seen much action. I mean, to them, they've probably been running full bore and not noticed much, versus everywhere else has just been getting just kind of destroyed.
Oh, Neo, what do you think about your boy LeBron getting to play with Bronny? Historical moment there for the Lakers.
Are you teary-eyed when you watch that?
I wept. I openly wept.
That's actually what he's watching now, is just the replay over and over.
Well, I was transferring I was cashing out my 401ks.
How many Top Shot moments
did you buy?
Top Shot.
You got a Top Shot moment
after that moment.
I'd buy a Caitlin Clark Top Shot. Yeah, Top Shot, the Bronny and Braun.
Why is Ruben hasn't brought that back?
75 rare. Oh man,
everything's rigged. I don't think hockey's rigged. That's too hard to rig. Those guys have killed somebody.
I'm at the end of the chat, guys. I've done my
Fanatics
job.
Run out.
I've done my job. So what happens when Wemby gets injured from Jacob? How much money moves downward if Wemby gets injured?
Well, I'm going to be curious to this season. Obviously your second season in, you figure out how everybody adapts to you. Do they start playing you different? Are you able to handle the new attention that you get? And then do you progress? Again, Wemby's advantage is honestly his size and his athleticism. He plays offense and defense. He's not a one-way player. So he's got value no matter what. I honestly, outside of being not healthy, I don't see him not making an all-star game moving forward in his career if he's healthy. I just don't, unless he's old.
Actually, what's it going to be I guess the thing is, what's he going to look like with increased minutes? If he's been playing 17 minutes a game, what's he going to look like at 30 minutes a game for a full season?
He also looks like a guy that's actually taking playing basketball and a career seriously versus these other guys that just kind of go out and party and do stupid shit. He doesn't look like that guy. I've not seen anything that shows me that type of guy.
I agree. So,
and if he has that mentality where he's that next version of a version of Tim Duncan that's not quiet and, is now out there, that's going to be a big deal. And that's why I don't dislike people investing in Wemby. I just think it's too high still right now. And there will be in the next 2 to 3 years, probably your best buying opportunity to happen when it kind of just levels out. And it's just like, what can you do to really make your cards go up outside of win a championship? Because it's where we're at with Luka. What can you do? It's realistic. You got to win a championship. He can put 45 up every night for 10 games and nobody's going to give two shits. It's going to go a little bit and that's it.
Chris is asking about the fantasy standings.
Oh, I'm at the bottom.
Yeah, everybody's
I blame multiple natural disasters for my lack of managing my team.
But the difference between first and last is only like 2 games back or something.
Well, Roth Cards is tied for first. If there's 4 people tied for first at 5-2, but Roth Card started 0-2 and has won 5 in a row. So he's been on a streak, but he's had one injury. Like everybody else has been beat up.
Yeah, everybody else has.
So that's kind of what it is right now. And I'm in multiple fantasy leagues, and that's kind of like how it is across the board. If anybody in the chat is playing fantasy, you realize it's been a graveyard of injuries this year. It's kind of like
there's nobody to go pick up.
The people who have been lucky enough to avoid major injuries are the people that are winning.
He could be like Jordan, though, Jacob. Like, if you think back, Jordan in '84, like, I think half the team, what did he say? Half the team was on cocaine or drugs or whatever, the Bulls, when Jordan got there. And they were partying like crazy, and he wasn't getting involved.
Real quick, Jay's 5-2, Dustin's 5-2 in the tie. Ken from Sports Card Lessons 5-2. Jeff Wilson is 4-3. Jeff must have went on a skid because there for a while he was in first with like 3 or 4 wins. Jay Cards and Comics is 4-3. Filmington's 4-3. Ziggy's 3-4. I'm 3-4. Neo's 2-5, and then Ham, and then Chris Soul, which is a Sports Cards Collector Investor Dealer, are both 1-6.
And I think Chris Soul's win was against me, so I don't know if that's.
I started good, and then I've gone on a skid after I got beat down by injuries. But yeah.
Cook makes you better at everything from what they say, at least for short range.
We'll right the ship. We'll figure out these injuries and get it done in the end, boys.
Yeah, I just got to squeeze out a few more victories here. Just get in the playoffs, and anything can happen. I feel like
I just need to go on a winning streak just to.
I feel like Rip and List says the same thing every time. Like it's live. It is.
Barely,
it's live. It's live.
Is this live?
It's Livy done.
Is this live?
Why to say with baseball? I find it interesting how much Paul Skeens is holding up a product. Everybody complains about pitchers, yet this guy's holding up a product.
Grim 77 came with a haymaker. Woo.
He says championship or bust.
How many Diddy parties did Ruben attend?
You can't say that on the you can't say the word on the
live. Got demonetized.
We just got demonetized with that one word.
I didn't say the word after
Ziggy, it should be 6. I think 6 teams make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
2 of them get a bye in the first round. The other 4 got to play their way into the semifinals.
Is Update really rookie rich though? I mean, because a lot of the
it has a ton of debuts in it.
Yeah, but nobody cares about the debuts. Like that's why I think it's. I know the patches, the debut patches are in them, and there's more of them. So that's cool. I get
that's an update Chrome though, not regular update.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But earlier they asked about update too. But it's just like, flagship to me is just kind of a waste of time now, because
everyone wants the golden mirrors.
But yeah, so it's that. But is it worth chasing versus just buying one?
When's WNBA Prism coming out?
You can say that about pretty much every product that comes out.
What time is it? I'm going to clip that from Neo. That's a clip. That's a minute 13. Let me notate that. That's going in tomorrow's video. Minute 13.
You need it for your short because you only get 12 seconds.
Is anybody going to beat the Celtics this year, though? We don't talk much about basketball and stuff anymore. It's kind of lost
Nobody does.
some interest in it. But
Steve, when you were watching basketball, like now they won a title and you're not really that into it. You know?
Yeah, no. They're going to win again. They'll probably win again this year.
And I'm hoping to go to a Magic game here in the next month or so, but I've been kind of promised floor seats. So that's more of like an experience thing. And last time I went last year, I was sitting like 15 rows up, but he was like, would you want to sit floor? I'm like, why are you asking a question? I was like, I don't care who they're playing against. I'll go sit floor. Yeah, of course. That also comes with all you can eat and all you can drink because you get the lounge area. So I'll be excited when I do. I'll videotape that and I'll put some stuff out for fun.
Is Prism going to put out a WNBA product?
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Now they got a lockout going right now. Is that going to matter?
I think they're going to blow right through the lockout. Personally,
is Caitlin Clark joining a different league? People are like, "How come you're not talking about her joining the European League?" I'm like,
"She's not." No, the what's the league? The 3-on-3 basketball league. What's her name?
That's probably just to stay warmed up.
What's it called? They said something. I was reading an article today on my drive home talking about what is the name of the league? I wish I could think of it. It's a 3-on-3 basketball league. Anyway.
I know what you're talking about. I know the name off the top of my head.
but they wanted to offer her a Messi like contract. Now, Messi got, I don't think they're talking about number wise, because I think they're talking about other things. Like they're going to give her a salary, plus they want to give her ownership, part ownership, and things like that, like Miami did with Messi. But they gave Messi 150 million also, right?
Yeah,
so
they made that back in one game.
But I don't think that
well, that we said the
I think 3-on-3 basketball is a hard sell, regardless of who's playing.
Well, what's
I don't think she's going to do it.
Championship?
It's a lot of money.
They basically offered her like $1 million contract or something.
Oh, I thought it was like $5 million or something crazy. Like
no, the first one I heard was like for 3 months to play in that league was going to be like $1 million base salary, which she's making $76,000 a year in the WNBA.
Is that the one Ice Cube owns?
Well, he might be part owner in that. They originally said that they thought that they could launch the league without her. And now they're realizing that this league is not going to get off the ground without her. So now they're trying to throw at her what they think that they can to get her to come play there. But I don't think she has any interest in playing there. And it's really going to have to take – she has an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike, right?
Yeah.
She has – and she has tons and tons of other sponsorships. That's where she's making all of her money right now. $1 million, it sounds like a lot when you're talking about $1 million, and then her WNBA salary is like $76,000. But it doesn't sound like a lot of money when you have an 8-year deal with Nike, right? So if you're comparing the two salaries, it sounds like a lot of money, but really $1 million to her right now probably isn't, the type of, the kind of money that's going to make her.
She's already making more money than that anyway. So, but like what I was just saying, the WNBA's final just happened, and what's her name? Iescu. I don't know the girl's name.
Sabrina Ionescu or something like that.
Yeah. She was the big female before Caitlin Clark.
Right.
She just won a championship, but ain't nobody talking about her
because you have to be marketable. It's not just your success on the court.
Well, what
you
makes
also have to be
Caitlin Clark marketable?
Her style of play.
Well, so Iescu's style of play is just the same. It's no different. Angela Reese, her style of play is just to run her mouth and be an ass.
No, they don't even play the same position. Angel Reese doesn't. If Angel Reese is a rebounder, like a guard. I don't say a garbage man, but like a role player. No, you clean up. You're the cleanup person. You clean up rebounds. You put them back. You things like that. Right. I'm not saying she's a garbage player. I'm saying she plays the role of like the
garbage player.
The garbage, yeah. You get rebounds and put them back.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark runs the offense, and she's exciting to watch because she plays different than anybody else out there. Like her dribbling skills, her shooting skills. There's not any other people launching 3-pointers from where she's launching them from. And it's the same thing.
Her passing is insane.
It's like when Curry came into the NBA. And he was exciting because of his it was at the time, it was a new, now it's taken over the NBA and it's kind of ruined it for a lot of people, but it was a new style of basketball. He was hitting shots that were like unheard of, and he was doing it regularly. They weren't just buzzer beaters. Right? So,
yeah, the WNBA is not ran very well at all.
Well, there were 3 things going on that night because you also had the baseball game with the Mets Dodgers, because I have YouTube TV, and YouTube TV, I guess, whatever thing I had here, it had a channel where it had all 3 of those on one channel at one time, and you could choose the sound of the one you want to listen to. So I watched all 3 at the same time, and I just listened to the baseball game. But I was like, I don't even have to worry about flipping back and forth. They literally just gave you a channel to go look at it on. I was like, never seen that before in my life.
I mean, did they just put out a top 10 list of the top 10 most marketable athletes of 2024 or something, and Caitlin Clark was 4th.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it right now.
Lionel Messi was 5th.
Yeah,
she was ahead of Messi.
I think Lionel Messi would be number 1, to be honest.
Now, and I'm not like a team owner, and I'm not, and I don't watch a whole lot of WNBA, but what I've seen of her playing, it's a different style. It's more exciting. It's made lots and lots of other people want to watch it for some reason. So it has to be something different about it.
I mean,
and Jim in Florida
I
says,
watched some of it. Like I said, I was watching the championship game, which was fun to watch back and forth. And obviously, it looks a little sloppy here and there. But like, anytime I've even watched Caitlin Clark play, I still don't see it as refined as men's basketball, even though that's just a garbage product right now. It's still not as refined.
I don't know what you're like, because there's a lot of
It
unrefined
looks
play in
sloppy.
the NBA
When
too.
they're all playing, it looks
I
sloppy.
see sloppy play in the NBA too, and I don't watch either that much. But I'm saying
The one thing I noticed the difference is in the WNBA, you to continually try to guard somebody versus just like can't touch them, let them go.
the NBA don't play defense.
That's what I get. I just can't touch them, let them go. It's like if they allow people to start playing a little bit of contact and defense in the NBA, I think you'd get back into a better competitive things because these guys don't want to be dogs.
The players aren't even playing full seasons now, Ham. Some aren't even playing back-to-back games. They're on managed minutes. They're playing basketball. They're on managed time.
Listen, toughest guys in our sports leagues are hockey players.
And role.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's not a good thing. I'm just saying you're talking about let them guard, let them be more physical. They're not even letting them play a certain amount of minutes.
Well, that's the same thing with football. Somebody that used to get injured and play injured, now you guys sit out for 3 games.
It's the same thing with baseball. Pitchers don't go 7 innings anymore.
Or pitchers are different.
You can say they're protected. All the athletes are protected in different ways now. So
I mean, pitchers drive me nuts in baseball
because it's a business. It's a business. It's not a sport anymore.
I just don't think they get the value out of the player though anymore by doing that.
Well, they get longevity out of them.
I don't feel they do because none of these guys stay on teams long enough.
Well, I don't know. Talk to players talk to old phenoms like Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor, and
but those guys don't exist anymore.
Exactly, because they don't allow them to do it.
Correct. I agree with you. We're on the same page.
But they don't do it for fear of injury, for bringing in a young rookie, running his pitch count up, and next thing you know, he needs Tommy John surgery. It's like that in Little League now. It starts.
Well, kids are having Tommy John surgery now, so that's a problem.
This is the best part of the show, man. What are you talking about?
All right, boys, we are coming up on an hour and 30 minutes, and I'm an old man and I have to get up early.
You choose to get up early.
Yeah, I've got kids. Early.
Trust me, there's bums that just lay in bed. They don't get up.
One love. One love, one life.
One life.
We go like sports card radio and have different characters call in, have a Christine and have a Dave or who are they?
That was funny though the other day when you text us Steve in the chat, like you showed the one life and you said remember that, and then like Dustin's like I was there too.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to tell me.
I was there. Count them.
1, 2, 3. Is your chest an ab?
No. There you go.
All right.
Nips. I need to color
no, that's that alien thing you got going. All right.
All right, guys. I think that we've done a good work here tonight. We'll see you back in 2 weeks. Yeah, I think we did pretty good.
2 weeks.
Neo, you didn't really explain too much about
what's happening 2 weeks from now.
We'll be 1 week into November.
What's that?
We'll be a week into November. About
I'll be able to do that because that Wednesday I come back from a work event that's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at a resort. So I'll be back for the evening.
Because next Wednesday is the 30th.
Yeah. Why don't we do a post Halloween dress up? I'll wear mine like in 2 weeks. We'll keep it going. I know Steve's down. I know that Neo is not going to do shit, and Ham might do it.
Yeah, I'm 50-50.
Okay. All right.
So you have to have like a Sentinel costume or something.
Yeah, I got the Magneto helmet.
We'll see him in the back. Yeah,
put your wear the Magneto helmet.
Your Magneto
only when the tag bots attack.
We got you, Doc. We got you.
See, now put your Magneto on and prove something to Dustin.
If you send me that picture, I can AI Neo into that costume.
Why does he have like vampire fangs though? I don't really. That's the part.
Wolverine fangs.
He was trying to be more Wolverine. Yeah, because the Wolverine, the character, does have more fanged type canines.
Are we the day after the election? Oh, so it'd be Wednesday the 5th or whatever. All right. We got to do this.
You might be on the front
So
line.
the internet may not work. That's what you're
Yeah, that might not be the best day to plan a live stream.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we're all in our
emotion-
safe space.
Emotions are going to be running high.
The
Emotions
election
are
will
gonna be
probably
running
still
high.
be going on, to be honest.
Have any of y'all voted yet?
I haven't yet.
Mine's sitting upstairs. I got to fill it out.
I voted 2 days ago. Yeah.
I was telling my kids in college, I'm like, hey, make sure you guys, do the mail-in thing. They're like, Dad, we already voted. And I haven't voted yet. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, cool. All right, boys. We will see you back right the night after the election, and we'll be fired up and ready to hear what everyone thinks in the chat. Let's talk about it. Yeah, this is where the channels really go sideways.
Exactly.
Maybe I won't co-stream that one. We'll just let Dustin stream by himself.
I'll just suit up. I'll suit it up and I'll take care of that stream myself. All right, guys. Good night.
All right, guys.
God bless.
See y'all later.